You're listening to Cullman Community Radio's channel for Cullman County sports. Tonight's broadcast will begin in about 1 minute and 30 seconds.
The weather has been much milder and nicer than what we're used to experiencing in August. But if you listen closely, all across small towns of the state of Alabama, you can hear the thunder of pads popping and helmets hitting helmets. Week 0 is in the books. A game to get ready, a game to experience the impact of live football. But now, it's for real. Tonight, we kick off a regular season with a matchup between the Fairview Aggies and the Springville Tigers. The Tigers have made the long bus ride up from St. Clair County to roll into Dafford Smith Stadium and try and hand the Aggies a loss. Waiting to welcome them is an experienced Fairview Aggie football team that is very hard to beat at home. Can the underdogs knock off the Aggies? It's time to find out. It's time for Friday Night Live on the Fairview Aggie Sports Network. I am Christopher Greer, welcoming to the broadcast booth my dad, Joe Greer. Dad, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Doing good, man. Getting ready to kick it off. This weather is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's been really nice the last few days. I think it's going to do a U-turn come next week sometime. But we just take it while we get it. I hope we do.
Well, you know, we'll take it while we can. I told the kids that I coached the other day, you know, enjoy this. You don't get weather like this very often. And, you know, speaking of things that are kind of special, our sponsors are kind of special. We've got a bunch of different sponsors we'd like to recognize. Our broadcast booth sponsor is the 212 Insurance Group, providing that extra degree of service you deserve. Our first and second half kickoffs tonight will be sponsored by Shattuck's Garage Doors. More than just garage doors, experience the Shattuck's difference. Our sideline reports will be brought to you by Ditto's Transmissions. Honest and reasonable, trust Ditto's for all your transmission needs. And I've actually been a customer of them through the years and have had a great experience. The scoring recaps will be brought to you by CCM Garage Doors. Don't fight the ups and downs of an aging garage door. Call CCM. The coaches' interviews will be brought to you by Owens Home Appliance Centers. Quality products, quality service, quality pricing. It's in the name. First downs will be brought to you by the Branding Iron Steakhouse, leaving their marks on great steaks. You know, there's not a lot of steakhouses, Dad, that I'll actually go to.
I agree with you. There's 2 locations here in Palmer County. Just outside of Fairview.
Well, Branding Iron is one of the only steakhouses I'll go to because I want them to cook a steak better than I can, and Branding Iron always pulls that off. Lastly, the halftime show will be sponsored also by 212 Insurance Group, and Talia from 212 will be our halftime reporter. She'll be joining us here shortly. You know, Dad, it's great to be back. It's great to be back in Dafford Smith Stadium, and we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, then we'll start talking about what happened last week with the Aggies and last week with the Springville Tigers. You're listening to the Fairview Sports Network, and I am Christopher Greer. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, Cullman drivers. Are you tired of the hassle and confusion when it comes to buying a car? Well, we've got fantastic news for you. Meet Adam Aker at Mitch Smith Chevrolet in Cullman, your go-to guy for a no-nonsense car buying experience.
Hey, folks. Adam here. You know, buying a car shouldn't be stressful. That's why at Mitch Smith Chevrolet, we pride ourselves on transparency, trust, and there's never any BS at MS.
That's right. Adam Aker and the Mitch Smith Chevrolet team are changing the game.
I live and breathe Cullman, just like you. Chevrolet, what's not to love?
At
Plus One Heating and Air. We believe in more than just fixing your HVAC system. Our team of skilled technicians is dedicated to providing top-notch service with a smile. Whether it's installation, repairs, or maintenance, you can trust Plus One Heating and Air to get the job done right the first time.
I've never experienced service like this before. Plus One Heating and Air not only fixed my heating system promptly, they also ensured everything was running smoothly. They truly care about their customers.
So when you're in need of heating and air services, remember the company that's willing to walk that extra mile for you. Plus One Heating and Air, where trust meets exceptional service.
Welcome back to Dafford Smith Stadium and the Fairview Aggie Sports Network. And I'm joined up here in the broadcast booth. Leah's up here right now. My dad's up here with me. Dad, let's talk a little bit about what happened last week. And specifically that Fultondale game. Man, Fairview just rolled.
Yeah, I wasn't at the Fultondale game in person. I listened to it on the radio. But it was kind of like cat come out of the bag. And nobody could get it back. Well, that's what happens when you play good. They wouldn't have how to call it work. But I got to say one thing. We're getting private. And the stadium looks like it's stop all the you don't hear it here. He always referred to good feet.
Right.
I feel about that. It's so nice to be back here. It's so nice to be able to sit and watch a game. And, you know, we're fans. We don't just
right? Well, and you've got a steakhouse. Fairview has become special to us. And Fairview is getting a reputation. When you're talking about the class of Cullman County in football, there's one name that pops to mind. There's some others who do a good job. Good Hope always puts out a good team. But I'll tell you what, it's hard-pressed to beat Fairview, especially when you consider that we have basically – I'll tell you the truth. His kicking last week shocked me. It really did. He put two pooch kicks inside the 0 of the 30, and they recovered both of them.
Right off the bat.
And when you have a kicker who can do something like that, you really have a weapon you can game plan around. Now, talking a little bit about the Springville Tigers, last week their jamboree didn't go quite so well. They played Asheville. I talked to the coach a little bit about it, and Coach Metcalf, we talked a little bit about, what they could learn and what they could improve on. This Springville team has some playmakers, but they came up a little bit short last week. But they are heavy, very heavy in leadership in upperclassmen, Dad. And that might play a role tonight.
That's true. You see kids come up and then you see more than a few of them might be sure about they always seem to have some good programs always. Even when you look at Fairview always pulls the rabbit out of the hat. It's not just Fairview, it's also
Right.
It's encouraging to see. These guys who play any sport are not doing it.
Right.
They're not doing it for fame.
Well, speaking of those young backs, a lot of young kids got in the ball game last week for Fairview. Will we see that tonight? More than likely, just to be honest. And the running back stable is deep. Of course, everyone knows about Jake Harper. But the other thing to look at it in the running back room for Fairview, you've got Rex Chandler right behind him, who is very dangerous. Ernesto Vasquez, he played very well last week. John Short, the freshman, got a touchdown. Easton Fitch looked good in his carries. That's another freshman. So the cupboard is full. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in about 2 minutes. And when we come back, we'll play the coaches' interviews from this past week. You're listening to the Fairview Aggie Sports Network.
Hey, Cullman fans, when it's game time, it's
necessity. Unfortunately, the large cable and phone companies only provide broadband internet where it's profitable for them. For the rest of us, there's Cyber Broadband. Providing internet service since 2004, Cyber utilizes a small radio antenna to deliver broadband where cable and DSL don't go. You can join the 21st century today with Cyber Broadband, supporting streaming, VPN access, and everything else you've been wanting to do with that slow internet connection. It's Cyber Broadband for the win. They can be found online at cyberbroadband.net or look them up on Facebook.
When it comes to securing a home loan, you want someone who knows the ropes and can guide you every step of the way. That's where Josh Phillips of Maven Mortgage comes in.
I'm Josh Phillips of Maven Mortgage Group. You can reach me at 256-338-2920. And whether it's your first time buying a home or your fifth time, we'd love the opportunity to serve you and your family in all your home financing needs.
Josh Phillips and Maven Mortgage. Their name says it all. Experience you can trust, knowledge that works for you. With one phone call, you can take the next step toward your dream home with Josh Phillips of Maven Mortgage. Your home, your future. Josh Phillips at Maven Mortgage. 256-338-2920. 256-338-2920. NMLS number 338177.
Welcome back to Dafford Smith Stadium. I'm Christopher Greer with the Fairview Aggie Sports Network. And, Dad, now we're going to play some coaches' interviews we did earlier this week. I had the opportunity to sit down and talk to Coach Metcalf, the coach of the Springville Tigers, and we're going to play his words and let you hear what he had to say about his team. Here is Coach Metcalf of the Springville Tigers. I'm Christopher Greer with the Fairview Aggie Sports Network, and I'm joined by Coach Chris Metcalf, head coach of the Springville Tigers. Coach, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to talk to us. I know this time of year things can get a little bit hectic.
Absolutely, but I'm really excited. I appreciate you guys having me on the broadcast today.
You know, I was looking over that Region 6 roster of teams, and, man, that is one tough region. How challenging is this schedule going to be this year?
Oh, it's definitely a challenging schedule. We don't shy away from that. We had two guys in our region played in the semifinals last season, so we got good coaching, good teams that know how to win, and we just take it one week at a time. And our motto this year is we want to build greatness, and that takes a repetitive daily emphasis on doing the little things right. You've got to do it over and over and over again, and that's the hardest thing about being great is giving your best every single day.
You know, I tell the kids that I coach, big things are made up of little things. If you can get the little things right, the big things will take care of themselves. You know, Coach,
Absolutely.
You're coming up the road to Fairview to play in Dafford Smith Stadium. That's not a fun place to play. It gets a bit loud. When you look at the film of this Aggie team, what are the key things that your defense and your offense are going to have to do to get a win?
Yeah, we're going to have to not make mistakes, ourselves. We've got a big focus on worrying about us, not trying to make mistakes that you make in the first game. A lot of time that first game, you make some mistakes that are uncharacteristic. And a wise coach told me that, man, you make more improvements from week 1 to week 2 than really any other time during the season. And so that's been our point of emphasis this week after a tough one last week. Kids competed their tails off, and we just came up short. But we're looking to focus on us and really reiterate the details, the small things. One of the things we talk about in our program is how you do the small things is how you do all things.
Right.
And we know that Coach does a great job at Fairview. We know that they've got a veteran team coming back, a lot of really good players. That backfield is very, very dynamic, and it's a tough place to play. So we've been just really hitting on that this week that we've got to be tough.
You hit on something that I've heard a lot of coaches say. I believe it too. That improvement in that first week that's the biggest jump you're going to see of the year. You played the Asheville Bulldogs this past week in a jamboree. You played them very close. When you sat down and watched that film, what things jumped out at you that you guys needed to work on?
Yeah, man, you give a lot of credit to Coach Mark Sanders at Asheville. He's also in his first year, and his guys just made more plays at the end of the day. That first game, a lot of time there's just little things. First time under the lights, and we got to do a better job of that. And our coaches, our players have really bought into that. It's really been a positive week of practice, and we're excited to get back out there on Friday night.
I'm always going to be a lineman at heart. I get to coach linemen at the middle school level. I love watching the guys down in the trenches, and I love watching the defensive front of the Fairview Aggies. They get after the ball. They're big guys. They move well. How do you think your offensive line is going to match up against that 30 front?
Definitely have some tough guys up front, but I like our guys on the offensive line. Damian Smith, Trent Vines. We got Casey Cornwell, Tyler Leopard, Sutton Heydrich, Alex Logan, and we got a veteran group up there, and they're going to get after it. That's really all they know how to do. So I'm really excited to see those guys go to work and prepare as they've prepared for that matchup this week.
Coach, I'm going to ask you one more question, and then I'll let you get back to it. Your team has quite a few upperclassmen. I was looking through the roster. How important has the senior leadership been to this team through the offseason up until now, and how did some of those seniors respond last week?
Yeah, that's a great question. When you when a new coaching staff comes in, it's always a tough transition on seniors. I had that happen my own senior year, and sometimes there's friction there, but there wasn't with us. Our senior class has really embraced me from day one. They have bought into the new things that we're trying to do, the vision that we have laid out for the program, and we really saw it after the game. We've got a leadership council on our team that's made up of various sophomores, juniors, seniors, but those seniors really on Sunday kind of took ownership for everything, and we took that as a team. We owned it. We owned our mistakes, and we're ready to move on. And I thought that's a lot for kids to do, to take ownership and to work on being the men that we feel like the Lord has called us to be. And sometimes that's having tough conversations. Sometimes that's, trying to live your life with integrity. They're really proud of our senior class.
Looking to buy or sell your home? You can trust a team that treats you like family.
Are you looking for a reliable ride at the lowest prices in town with financing? PNC Auto has you covered. Finance options for all credit types, good, bad, or ugly. Plus, a free vehicle report is available for each listing. You can get pre-qualified today online at mypcauto.com. And they offer a free 90-day powertrain warranty or free maintenance for a year. No, we're not kidding. Chad Johnson and Paul Carpenter are ready to help you drive away happy today. Chad is available at 256-493-2491, or Paul can be reached at 256-339-9932. PNC Auto on Highway 278 just past the Methodist Church, or online at mypcauto.com.
Live 95 is brought to you in part by Merchants Bank of Alabama, a division of South Point, now with several locations across the state, but still located in the heart of Cullman County. They are a proud sponsor of Cullman Community Radio on Live 95. Merchants Bank of Alabama, a division of South Point, equal housing lender, member FDIC.